Good morning. Welcome to Tao USA Sunday Lectures. Very happy to see you here again. So I'd like to talk about a subject. Is it God exist? Is it God is real? So I want to have a little analogy. So one day, a Taoist priest walked by the little fish pond, and then he's ready to feed the fish, and he heard a dialogue between the two fish, small and bigger fish. Small fish say, "Look how wonderful! Whenever I'm hungry, the food will come. No matter when the water getting muddy, and it get clean right away." So the big fishes say, this is always have a way to see that this is like a principle, right? But after we observe the principle, they always know there is a very mystical force in dominate and control. This came from Spirit or Shen or God. So the small fish say, "Where is the God? I swim all over the whole pond, every corner. I haven't seen the God exist." And then the big fish say, "Well, it's not in the fish pond. It's not in the water. You can't see it. Doesn't mean other fish don't see it." Oh, so if he's not in the water, how can he breathe? Well, this type of God, this God do not have to breathe through the water. He can directly breathe the air. And then small fish say, "Then why he just give us the food for free?" Sometimes, in a very difficult time, in order to have some food, some of us have to pay the price of life. And why he give us free? The big fishes say, "Well, God is unbelievable powerful. He can do anything. Give us the food to him is easy." And so the fish say, small little fishes say, "If God do exist, then where is God came from?" Oh, the big fish say, "We cannot reject his existence, or we question if he's there, because we cannot understand him. He might not even know where he come from. Even, look, we are a little fish. Our intelligence can never understand the existence of the God. Even God tell us, we may not even understand." So, you see, in this analogy, little fish believe that God must live in the water and breathe in the water, using the scale to breathe, right? So, and otherwise he can't see, he can't touch, then God may not be exist. Well, same thing as our human. Our humans say if we cannot see the God, well, God may not be exist, although we don't believe God is there. So why I often do this subject, I have been many times being asked, do your Taoism have a God, just like many other religions? I reply, yes. Taoism have many gods of all things, because Tao means principle, the truth, the way, the truth, the way, and the principle. So you see, we have many principle things that we have discovered in the human history. So the more thing that you can see that comply with the principle, that most likely is being made. Example, another analogy, the chopstick. See, the chopstick looks beautiful, but chopstick, it's a man-made chopstick, so they follow the principle through machines and make it and looks like perfect chopstick. But we know when we want to go outdoor, we can pick up little two wood stick on the floor. We can make a chopstick. It's usable, right? You can see that chopstick and the chopstick made from the factory, both are chopstick was different. The one that made from the factory, they're made by a principle, made by a machine, made by a theory. The other ones are made by us. We pick out the two stick, we make the chopstick, right? So when we look through to see today, you see the supersonic jet, airplanes, big machines, computer, all this thing is not came from the naturally made. It is the human through years research, analysis, laboratory test, and the greatest resource to discover the principle of things, how the machine runs, physics theory, engineering theory, scientific theory, and mathematics theory. When humans discover the theory, puts it together, then they make computer, make airplane, make a heavy machine, all of this. So this is not just come from the nowhere. So as you can see, who else the most complicated machine in the world is our human body. Our body, from head to toe, an extremely complicated machine. It's complicated thing. It's even a little insect we find the life. All things with the life, a little insect. If you look into the body, the DNA structure, the cell structure, extremely magnificent and complicated, right? Today, our humans and scientists still could not make a life with one single cell. We could not do that. Not to say with computers, cell phones, airplanes, and machinery. All those are more complicated. It's not just naturally come from we digging on the earth to find them, or not just come from the all no reason come from the air, bubble out of it. So this means a lot of things that came with the principle. Human discover the principle or make because the principle governing the product of principle. Can be a living thing and can be a machine, can be some else stuff. It's a principle product, a product of principle. So you see, then if follow this logic, we can see our human are made it. We are made from the logic, from the technology. Speaking, it's very believable. It's believable. So when we trace back history, only a few decades ago, humans discovered DNA. Until today, they use certain DNA from the sheep and then clone the sheep, right? Haven't cloned the human yet. Maybe they already done, but we don't know. Only a few decades. Can you imagine 50 years, 500 years ago, 50 and 500 years later, what DNA technology can grow to, can be developed into? It will be unbelievable level, isn't it? So maybe one day a scientist can take a human DNA technology, migrate it to another planet, and then follow the climate, the character, all the conditions of that planet, and they start clone a human, clone the plant, clone the animal. Can you imagine that? And so then after they clone all this stuff, then they make another highest intelligence being, a human, maybe, to overlook all this planet, dominate, control, or managing the whole planet. Then imagine what human compared to those plants, animals, and low intelligent being, what's human going to be? Obviously at the time human might be called God. Right? So therefore in the grand Milky Way, beyond the Milky Way, in the grandest cosmos, it's such a large mystical, and nobody have ever, non-humans able to discover. So is it possible the highest, more advanced being that is out there? So they can be maybe from billion years ago, they already came to our planet Earth and cloned everything here. So all the things with life or have been cloned, and the human being taught things all the way. Who taught us to make all different kind of things today? Humans continually discover the principle of nature, the principle of humans' life. So they continue have a new innovation, technology breakthrough, new creation to improve quality of life. Well, where does this come from? Do we really know? You can see in the ancient time, every religion have their own amazing legendary fairy tale. Chinese has one called Lu Hua, to make human, a goddess with a half human body, half snake body, and stop using the different colors of mud to mate, use a hand, mate people, or using the willow tree, touch the mud and flip it and make it human. That's the old story, old legend story. In Chinese, a book called Sanghai Jing, the scripture of mountain and sea, had described a magnificent world. It describes the humans' superior ability, immortal ability, describe all the magical animal. But today we can still discover on our planet Earth those type of the animal that described from the thousands of years ago from the book. So same thing in Western culture had done so many magical things like the Christ's rebirth, and then has perform all the magic, isn't it? Buddha does the same thing, right? So every religion had different kind of things. Of course, some religion today is still waiting for Jesus to descend to save the world. Well, you can see that our human had greater thought and wish to discover the magic, the truth behind our intelligence can reach. So the old time people say, wow, they have an ear, can listen to the thousands of miles away. The eye can through 1,000 miles away. Well, today, what we call the cell phone, we call it GPS, satellite. So you see, all these ancient things that being described. Now today, human using the principle, they understand some theory, they break through, they make it practical and make a product. Product from the theory, philosophy, and principle, make a product. So therefore, maybe we can say our human, the most sophisticated, complicated product must be very interestingly, maybe was a copy of most advanced being in the universe. We can see that some people say our human being may be a prisoner or maybe a guinea pig to try on this little plant arrange. You see the magical sun and the magical moon. Using moon for the ocean water, the moon like an anchor to the sun, so the sun doesn't float away to many other Milky Way. You see, there's a certain astrophysics, and there's some incredible science and engineer mathematics behind it, which is beyond humans' technology. The pyramids, how the pyramids being built, we don't know. How the Triangle Bermuda, what happened, we don't know. Human has too many unknown that we can discover the magic from God that have been here, that teaching our humans and give us the technology, give us the intelligence, give us the wisdom, and enlightening our human to learn the way to live in harmony with nature. Because in Taoism say, we are one. We are one with nature. Right? We're one with nature. We must be together with nature. Where 天人合一, heaven and man united as one. We follow the nature to go with the flow. So in other words, what lesson do we have learned from the teaching of God? Our human, that we learn how to live in grand harmony with different colors, cultures, religions, nature, and can we discover a principle to live in grand harmony? Can we learn to construct in this planet Earth that in the eyes of Jesus we call it Unitopia society? In many religions and talk about society should be a world of unity, and that's people quite often say, well, heaven on earth, the kingdom of God. Well, the kingdom supposed people learn, respect nature, love nature, not destructing nature. Learn to love, accept, tolerance, forgive each other, embrace each other, to live like a true utopia society, greatest community of love. And see, this we haven't learned, isn't it? So we say, human cannot see the God does not mean God does not exist. Example, some frequency or some frequency that we cannot hear, that the dog, the animal dog can feel the frequency, can see the frequency. Some smell we cannot discover, but animal pig can separate the taste. You see, so you can't see, you can't touch does not mean it's not there. Maybe example, parallel frequency, parallel world. It can be exist. In Taoism, we can believe the many parallel realm is totally exist. In my opinion, the 9 parallel realm that simultaneously exist. Does our humans ever die? No. Our souls continue travel One journey end, one journey begin. We'll continue going to the next journey. Human never die. We just continue moving. So all this magic, how it came, how it come, how do we explain them? We cannot explain it. Does not mean God not ever exists. That's why many religions have portrayed it, what heaven looks like, what hell looks like, to inspire people to be good, to avoid evil. What does that mean? Okay, there are a lot of magical things that we could not explain. Example, identical twin. One person died in a heart attack, the other person died also. And a great friendship, pick up the phone, the other side pick up the phone too and call each other. You think about somebody, somebody think about you. And today they call it quantum physics entanglement. Frequency, they discovered it's a frequency or chi, or maybe it's a superior principle that human did not understand yet. So human use our intelligence to call it quantum physics entanglement. Well, how did it happen? The law of attraction. How do we improve our good virtue to attract good luck, good life, good harmonia, happy, joyful life? How do we achieve that? By improve our quality of virtue, quality of love, right? To pursue the society, then we can build a better life. And that's the law of attraction. Like father, like son, a great father, great son, great mother, great children. And so all this have a transformation. That magic has to, how to explain it. Not only just psychologically, philosophically, right? There are many mystical frequency, energetic or spiritual transformation behind the scene that we could not discover. See, today, the world become virtual. In a virtual world, humans discovered the internet, World Wide Web, from the Web 1 to the Web 2 to Web 3, going to the Web 4 soon. People slowly put the constructing a world in this virtual society, virtual world in the internet. You see that the Facebook, the WhatsApp, the Telegram, okay, the Chinese WeChat, and many other the platform, and build up a world. The Amazon is the world. You see that the Facebook is the world. The Twitter, it become another world too. So those virtual world is what today, from physics, from logic speaking, they are forming. They are forming today. So, and that only takes our human few decades to get here, isn't it? And so that's virtual technology. Today, the VR, you put out the goggle and you start to see, you can touch things, feel real, smell things real, see the people, feels real. And then when it's so real, it's like a real world to us, then ask yourself, everything today, when we take off the goggle, everything today that we see, we feel, we touch, we smell, we sensing, all our five senses that recognize it, is it also a virtual world that created by more advanced being? Is it possible? You can't say no, isn't it? And maybe that's a parallel realm. That's the parallel world that we live in that we don't know yet, isn't it? So I just want to say, there is discovery. That's what this human new discovery leading us to live simultaneously and put a VR on virtual world, virtual reality. And then we live in the physical world where there's a reality. Well, that world can be likely being made by higher advanced intelligence being that we might call it God. and then maybe it's a parallel world that we live in, isn't it? So in Taoism, we use Yi Jing, the Book of Change, had discovered meaning principle is untold, untaught, and undiscovery. Meaning principle that we can learn. So meaning human is superhuman being, super intellectual being or ability being. We call it intuitive, special intuitive human being, a special function. And they really disobey the principle of nature. When we go back, when the airplane being made, it just disobeyed the human knowledge, because at that time human knowledge to understand the principle, mathematics, the physics, they don't have enough knowledge to understand actually the plane and float up and flies away, because they understanding is very limited. So with that speaking, maybe our human today is very limited, our technology, our knowledge to understand the existence of God in the universe. Maybe one day we can, through internal alchemy, cultivation, meditation, we can discover the truth of higher being. Maybe we can be one with God. Maybe we can also learn the secret of cultivation to become a God. So we are not, obviously our human is not the highest intelligent being on earth, even in the, of course not to say in the universe. So the thing that human cannot make, like cell, like DNA, this is gotta be made by the highest advanced human being. To create that, then we are made by highest being. It is very possible. It is very possible. When you think there's a possible, that means you are start awakening. Maybe it's the beginning of enlightenment. When you start to begin to believe there is another world that awaiting for us to enter, and then that you might start to establish the power of faith. When we establish that faith, then we'll know we are so selfish, so super enclosed, super low intelligent. Now our human has a lot of way to go further. When we still engage, like in the cage, fighting each other with a limited resource, fighting each other with different culture and belief, fighting for status, for money, we forgot there's something higher purpose waiting for us to discover. There are more needed for our human to unite, to break the magic behind our intelligence. Maybe we can establish our faith for God. Does not matter what religion you are in, you understand there is highest intelligent God is out there for us. May your life full of faith, may your life have full of joy and happiness. Happy Sunday, God bless.